Hi everyone, today I'm gonna talk about my research project. In my case, it is an internship that I've been developing with IPASUD, that is Instituto para la Pedagogía de la Paz y el Conflicto Urbano de la Universidad Estatal. So, through my presentation, I'm gonna be using a lot of words in Spanish because my presentation requires that. Also, the presentation is gonna be in Spanish because those were the requirements I had with this project. So, the name of the project is Representaciones Sociales de los Estudiantes de la Facultad de Ciencias y Educación de la Universidad Distrital Francisco José de Caldas hacia el ingreso de personas en proceso de reincorporación por medio de los cupos especiales a la Universidad Distrital Francisco José de Caldas. I'm doing this project with my partner Oma León. So let's start with this. So, where this problem came from? This problem came from the peace agreements that were signed by Juan Manuel Santos' government and the people who were in charge of Las FARC EP. It was a guerrilla group. So, after these agreements, the government started new challenges for the government and Colombian society regarding to different kind of aspects of life, for example social aspects, working aspects and academic aspects. So after this process, a lot of people stopped just like belonging to this kind of armies, illegal armies, and they started a route in order to start their reincorporation process. So what we decided was just like establish this um, project looking for the different perspectives people in the university have about people in process of incorporation. So why did we decide to do that? We decided to do this project because right now the Universidad Distrital is offering different opportunities. In this case are 44 special rooms for people who are in reincorporation processes. So before they get into the university, it is important to know the perspectives the community have about them. So what did we do? We made a lit review. We had just like a database about 900 articles. We check all of them in order to look for the previous studies which previous studies have been done in order to look what we can work with them, in which way we can get the perspective of the students. Here we have just some free examples of the texts or the studies that we were working on in this process. So mainly these studies work with social representations in different kind of contexts. There are not many studies about processes with people in process of reincorporation in education because it's not something that people have worked a lot on. But there are a lot of studies that have been carried out in working context. So after we checked these different kind, after we figured out our problematic situation or our problematic situation, we set some objectives. So as you can see, one of the the objectives, I mean the general objective is understand the social representations that exist among the students of Science and Education faculty of Universidad Estatal about the new people that are going to get into the university through these special rooms. So the specific objectives are identify those representations, identify the attitudes students at the university have towards these 44 special rooms, and finally is to generate a list of suggestions in order to improve the reincorporation process of those people, in this case at the university. So we have a conceptualization. So the two main constructs or concepts we have are social representations. We have Serge Moscovici as the main, um, I don't know, the person who presents the idea of social representations in the best way. And also we have reincorporation according to the ARN, that is like Agencia de Reconciliación y Normalización in Colombia. It is an organization that helps the people who have just like left behind the guns and decided to start a new life project. They start just like a process in order to help them to go back to the regular life, the life we have. So the investigation we did was like we had an instrument. The instrument we decided to apply it is a qualitative research. The instrument we designed a survey in which we had about 15 questions. The first 5 questions were looking for some demographic information, just like gender, the project in which they were studying in, the semester where they were coursing in at the moment of solving the survey. The idea was to get just like a very representative sample of students of Facultad de Ciencias de Educación at the university. So we got 29 answers from different people of every single project of Facultad de Ciencias de Educación. So here you can see an example of the instruments. So first we have a gender. We have just like if they were men or women, or if they would rather not to say their gender. So we have age, the semester, the project which they belonged to, and of course we asked them if they wanted to participate in this survey. So after that they start asking some questions. So the first question was that what is the first thing they thought or they think when they listen to the word excombatant. So some of the results were curious, not just because of the way in which they answered the question, but also because of the way in which they interpreted the question. Because some of them just answered the question with just one word, some of them used more complex concepts. So after the first question, we started just like we define what is a person in reincorporation process according to the ARN. So after that we start with a series of questions in order to look for the perspectives they have about this kind of population. So the rest of the questions are written in a final report that we already presented to IPASUD. So the way in which we decided to analyze the results was first coding people. We got 29 people involved. We have to delete a piece of data because one of the participants of the survey didn't achieve the requirements we have, that was be over 18 years old. So the first, as you can see in the left column, you have code. So we coded the students in a way we could identify them, but of course keeping their names in secret. So the first item we have is a number that we assign according to the way in which they answered the survey. The second one is M and F in order to identify them the gender. So it is like M for male and F for female. The third item we used was the age the participants were. And the third one was just some letters in order to recognize the project of the university where they belonged. And the last one was the semester they were coursing in. They were coursing at the moment they solved the survey. So how did we analyze the data? So first we start just like we set 3 categories: neutral, positive, and negative perception, based on the concepts the participants gave at the moment of answering the question. So this is just like an example of a chart of a pie in which how we organize the information, and we can see that in the first answer people had like more a negative perception about the word excombatant. So it's just one of the examples of this kind of the survey, and this is the way in which we analyzed the different kind of questions. So we got some conclusions. So the first conclusion we got after analyzing all the information and the questions is that the students of the university are, I mean, can't identify what is a person in incorporation process. So they have no idea what are them. So it is important to explain who are them. The second one is that, I mean, they have an optimistic perspective about the people in process of incorporation, but they feel that people outside an academic context, they are not, they reject this kind of processes because they don't see as very optimistic these kind of processes with people in process of incorporation. So also is that the students of the university have no idea about the 44 special rooms that the university is offering for this kind of population, and the ones who have idea about this kind of rooms, they don't know how they work. So it is important the students know this kind of projects and how do they work. So another conclusion is that students have a positive attitude and about the idea of sharing different kind of academic spaces and non-academic spaces inside the university with people in process of incorporation. So they say that the experiences they bring to the university can just like fit the academic process, not just the process of themselves, but also the academic process of people in process of incorporation. So another conclusion is that they show the students express they feel positive, and they see that they've seen a positive way these kind of processes that the university is carrying out. So they say that also the students or the participants of the survey express that they say that it's important to create programs that can accompany this new population at the university in order to help them to adapt to this new kind of experience. Also, students expressed in the survey that the participants expressed that they were willing to help and to cooperate in these new kind of processes with the university. So, as a group, after having these conclusions and gather all the perspectives and social representations students inside the university have about this kind of population, we have some proposals. The first one is to create some processes, some programs in order to spread information about these 44 special rooms inside the university. The second one is to implement programs that are accompaniment, I mean, in different aspects in order to help them to adapt this new population to the university. The third one is to make the different parts of the university to make them involved in this kind of processes in order all the university could know what is happening inside the university with this kind of programs and this kind of population. So this is some of the references we have about the topic we work on, and that's everything. Thank you very much.